sorry. It's been a long time since I've posted a video, and I just realized I left my drink really far away. Can I reach it? I can't reach it without getting up. Anyway, so I'm coming to you live from my living room floor. Yeah, so there's been a lot going on. Um, I don't even know where to start. I should have made a list. Like, I was thinking about this when I was taking a shower. Because guess what? I just got done working out. I know you're shocked. Just got back from CrossFit. I actually got done with CrossFit like 3 hours ago, but I went and had dinner with a friend of mine, which I actually had mixed feelings about because I'll get to it. I'll get to it. So I don't know where to start. So it's 4th of July weekend. Happy Independence Day, America. God bless America, right, Kitty? Kitty's on the couch behind me. So let me start with what's going on with my dad's estate. I think that's kind of where I left off before. Like I told you guys about the whole headstone thing, and like we got that sorted out, and everything's great. And so I went home back to where I grew up 3 weeks ago. Father's Day weekend was the weekend I was home, and we had the estate sale for at my dad's house in the garage. And while I was there, I put my dad's house on the market with the realtor. Her name is Megan. She is also my dad's neighbor, so it worked out like beautifully, right? Like they, her and her husband have lived across the street from my dad for a few years. So someone obviously that I, knew I could trust and, whatever. So while I was there, I signed the papers to put the house on the market, and that was Friday the 18th. And the house hit the MLS listings at 4 o'clock local time. And at 6 o'clock, I got a text message that there was a showing, and that showing resulted in an offer for $15,000 over asking. 2 hours, guys. Two hours. The house was on the market for 2 hours, and we had an offer. You can't make this shit up. That's how crazy it is right now. And so my dad's house is old. It was built in 1923. So just a couple of years older than my condo, right, that I live in, which is built in 25. And so it's not a bad little house. It's in a great location. It's really close to the schools. It's really close to shopping. It's on the bus line. It's near the pharmacy. It's near the gas stations, like all the things, right, that you could want. And it's, 2 bedroom, like bath and a half, like big basement, which is almost like semi-finished, I guess you could say, and so really easy for someone to transition into like a workout room or like a playroom or whatever for their kids, or like a, just like a pool table or whatever, if they have older kids, or, whatever you could do with it. So lots of possibilities. It just needs a little love. Right. And I never lived in that house. So I only knew a little bit about it, like in terms of like what potentially could be wrong with it. And I figured, hey, they'll find it during the inspection and, whatever. So we had the inspection, which went really as expected, I guess, like, because I had disclosed ahead of time, like I knew that the foundation was cracked. Like I knew that it needed work, right? So the buyer was a little bit nervous after the inspection, which is normal. Because like the guy was like, yeah, the foundation needs to be redone and you could have mold in your basement, which probably is the case, right? And so they did come back and ask for, to redo their offer, which was fine. And I was expecting them to come back and ask for like a $20,000 credit or something. And they didn't. It was only $5,000. And I said, absolutely. Like, totally do not care about that $5,000 because I'm not in this to make money. I'm in this to sell my dad's house and settle his estate. So we rewrote the offer and I signed it, and then the appraisal will come back on the 12th of July. And we're not expecting any surprises there. And the realtor feels pretty good about that. So yeah. So anyway, but the buyer is already like pre-approved. Obviously they have a conventional mortgage, which is really good in terms of like dealing with a seller and a buyer, like when you have just like the basics, right? Like versus like a VA loan or a first time home buyer. Like sometimes depending on how they're underwriting your mortgage, they want different things. Like the house can't be a certain thing. Like there's some rules sometimes about buying condos, for example, versus buying a house. And yeah, so anyway, yeah, so that went really well. And that's where we're at. And so if all things go the way we're expecting them to go with the appraisal, and again, my realtor didn't seem to have any concerns about that at all. She thinks it'll be fine. That we will close on or before August 4th. So that will be it. And then I can pay all my dad's bills, which is not anywhere near what we initially thought. I went through everything last weekend, I think it was, and organized everything. And I realized that a lot of these bills that he had are duplicates. Like, it was like, oh, reminder to pay your bill, reminder to pay your bill, or there was a payment on this bill, and then they sent another bill, right? And so I thought, like, this one of the hospitals that sent me like 14 bills, I thought they were all this like $2,000 bill. Well, it turns out it's all the same bill. So yeah. And then the cutoff for anyone else to come forward was on the 26th of June. So on the 26th of June, I checked the mail. There was nothing there. And it's now July 2nd. So at this point, I don't believe there would be anything that's like postmarked prior to, basically June 25th, that would have not arrived already. So yeah, and then I turned in the inventory paperwork for the house, which is basically just a list of what was in the house and its value to the court when I was home, paid the filing fee. So the only thing left to do is close on the house and get the check and pay off a small home equity line of credit that my dad was using, or he used to pay off credit cards, which is really interesting that he chose to do that like the year before he died, because it wiped out like tons of credit card, random credit card debt, right? And rolled it up into the house, which is, in my opinion, a better way to deal with it, right? Plus the interest was really low on it. And it's not much. It's like maybe like $6,500 because I've been paying on it this entire time, right? So I've been taking money every month from my dad's checking account and paying on that loan. So so we'll be able to hopefully close in early August, if not before. And then I get to pay off all the bills, and then I get to file the fiduciary papers with the court and close the estate. And then after that, whatever money is left over, my brothers and I obviously will split. And I'll close out the bank accounts, and that'll be it. And inheritance is not taxable in the state of Wisconsin. So my brothers will have, free and clear some cash. And again, no one was ever in this to make any money, but it's just kind of nice to know that there's going to be something, because my dad never made a lot of money, and I, and so he never was able to just like buy us whatever we wanted, right? And not that we didn't have things, it wasn't like that, but just, you know what I mean? And so he's actually leaving us with a nice little chunk, and so they can do whatever they want with it. And I already know what I'm going to do with mine. I'm going to adult AF with that. I am going to have the windows in my condo replaced, and that's a really big project. But so that's the plan for whatever I get from the estate when we're all done. So adulting, it sucks. So that's an update on my dad. His funeral and Claire's funeral will be in August. His family's coming from New York, so it'll be nice to see them. And then we're not doing anything fancy. We're just doing graveside, because Claire did not want to have a funeral. I told her we didn't have to have one. So we're not going to have one. And so that's where I'm with that. What else is going on? I got a new job. So remember when I told you that I've been kind of burnt out with my job, and that maybe this was not the year with, my dad dying and just all this stuff, like to make a life decision. Well, I made a life decision. It actually came to me, which was I was not expecting, and I'm staying with the same company, which I'm actually really happy about, because I do like who I work for. I really do. Like, I work for one of the largest companies in the world. It's very stable. Like I said, I think I've said this in our vlog. We don't put our payroll on credit. Like, we have so much cash. We have more. Cash is king, right? We have cash, and that's how we pay our bills, is with our cash. And so I'm really happy to be staying with the organization. I'm actually going to be switching departments. So I'm switching from operations to implementation. So I'm going to be still going to be client facing, but in a different way. So instead of a program manager, I'm going to be a project manager. And I'm really excited about that, about learning some new skills. I'm not a classically trained project manager. I do have a lot of change management in my background because of my PhD, but I'm really excited and I'm terrified, but I'm really excited. And it was a little bit weird because I'm a senior PM now, but they really couldn't justify hiring me as a senior project manager. So I'm actually going in as a project manager. I'm losing some of my bonus eligibility. So right now, my bonus is 15% of my base salary. This is 10% of my base salary, but I'm getting a $9,000 salary increase on the front end. So basically, everything that I would lose on the back end in the bonus, I'm getting on the front end, which is what I prefer anyway, because it's not taxed at 40%. Close, but not quite, So anyway, so I'm really excited about that. And I'm happy to be going to that team, and I think I can really add some value. So that happened. So dad's estate almost done, estate sale done, new job. Windows. That's what we're going to do with the adulting situation once the estate closes. I'm trying to think what else is going on. CrossFit's going really well. I'm not gonna lie to you. We're gonna be honest. I've been having some really intrusive thoughts about my nutrition lately, and that's why I haven't been online as much. So you guys know that I really enjoy watching reaction channels to, Amber Lynn and Chantel and, Life by Jen, now that she's kind of back in the saddle, and, even Eugenia, and I watch other things too. Like I watch channels about intuitive eating, and I watch Justin's journey, and there's a girl called Maddie Jane that is recovering from bulimia and anorexia, and I follow her, and I love Jamie French, who's just funny and lighthearted and super talented, and so I watch a lot of things, but I realized a few weeks ago that in watching kind of the Chantel stuff, that I started to feel like having thoughts that I haven't had in a really long time, here's how it goes. And you guys are gonna be like, Karen, that this is stupid. But when you have when you've been in that pattern of having distorted thoughts about food and having a difficult relationship with food and dieting, and I do everything in extremes. I think I've kind of said that to you guys. I am 1000%, I have an addictive personality. If it feels good, I will do it, and I will continue to do it, right? Until it no longer feels good and doesn't give me that rush, that dopamine rush, right? So I knew that Chantel was playing in the snow. And, and I logically knew that was probably the reason why she was reporting these really dramatic, weight losses, right? And so, but I'm sitting here and internalizing this is I want to lose 20 pounds. That's it. It's just 20. It's not 200 anymore. It's not 100. It's not 60. It's 20. And I'm sitting here and I train 6 days a week. My diet is really good. I track my food every day. I weigh everything I eat. And obviously I have days like tonight, for example, with my friend Sarah, and I said I would come back to that. That's kind of related to this, is that I want, this is my goal and I'm trying to get there and I'm working really hard. And my progress is it's slow, right? Because 20 pounds is not a lot when you're at the end of your weight loss journey and your body is oh, let's just hang on to this, because we know what you're trying to do. And so I've been trying for a long time, right? And then all this stuff with my dad happened. I know that sounds like an excuse, but some shit hit the fan, and then I realized, recently, I've done a shit ton of stuff in the last 12 months. I bought a house. There was a pandemic. My cat had cancer. I elected to treat him. I spent $10,000 getting my cat radiation for his nasal cancer. My dad got sick, then he was better, then he was sick again, then he was better, then he was sick, and then he died, and my stepmom died, and all of a sudden I'm the executive of an estate, and then I don't like my job anymore, and I'm fuck, fuck, that's a lot, right, when you really think about it. And so I'm focused on my goals, and I don't want to be derailed for my goals, and so I started to have some really intrusive thoughts and like about things that I used to do. And a lot of those things were like heavy restriction, and then I would, binge, and then I would purge, whether it was through exercise or other things. And, and I used to play in the snow. And but I was 20 when I was doing that. Like I was in my 20s making stupid decisions. Like I wasn't a 41-year-old woman in her career with a PhD, like doing all those things. Like, but I started to have like some really crazy thoughts, about like, oh, well, you could just go back to like, well, look at Chantel, like, and it wasn't even like I was consciously like thinking, like when I was watching these reactions to her, it was like, like she's doing it, like you could totally do that. Like it wasn't like I was thinking like that, but I started to think like, oh, I should really be restricting my calories to 900 calories a day, and I should, really be, fasting 1 day a week, or I should really be like running 3 miles every day after CrossFit, or, whatever it was, like these really crazy thoughts. And so I was just like, I don't like the way this makes me feel. And then, as I was watching more and more reactions, and I want to make it very clear that it is not the reaction channel, in the way that they are presenting the information. Like you guys know, I'm a huge Pulpy Syntax fan, and I love watching Pulpy, and like Zach's channel and like his live streams are a place that like anyone can go, right? Like when I'm there, like it's always a very safe feeling. Like I know that I can, say something and people aren't going to judge me for it, or, I'm free to share my thoughts, about whatever we're talking about. And, it's a very comfortable place for all kinds of people, right? Like whether you're, a beige Becky on the internet like me, as Jamie French would say, or, you're LGBTQ plus, whatever you are, or black or white or Hispanic or from Canada or United States or from Africa or from the Ukraine or wherever you're from, right? Like it's such a safe place to be. And so I remember watching like some of his reactions, and again, it's not him, but just the content, right? That Chantel was producing, and, or the live streams or whatever you want to do. And I remember just starting to feel like really anxious and like really like just really different and weird, and being like, why am I feeling, where are these thoughts coming from? It's sort of like someone comes to you and they just put this thought in your mind and you're like, who said that? Like, you're like, did I just think that out loud? Did I just seriously think about like eating 900 calories every day for 3 months so I could, because I see this, and I think that someone had actually made a comment like on her community post about like, listen, like you are like you have people who are following you that are on weight loss journeys, and they see that you dropped 70 pounds in 2 months by using cocaine. And like, honestly, oh, that's all right, I'm not monetized, by playing in the snow. And like, people are going to see that, and people are desperate sometimes, right? And you wouldn't think that. You're like, no logical thinking person is going to like go try to get some, some snow to play in, and so they can lose weight. Dude, it happens, right? It happens. And so I just was like, well, if Chantel can lose 70 pounds, like I could lose 20. I just have to do all of these things, and I have to just go back to like, what I called at the time discipline, right? Because that was what, and everyone around me was calling, oh, you're so dedicated, Carrie, you're so disciplined, right? And I was like, oh, I just have to be like that again, and then it'll be fine. And then like, I'll lose these 20 pounds. It'll probably take me 3 months or 2 months, and then I'll be done. It'll be great. And I'm, I'll have my pull-ups and my muscle-ups and all my shit crossed. So it's going to come together. So I started to have really crazy thoughts, right? And just feeling very anxious, like watching, and it made me feel bad that I was feeling anxious and didn't want to be a part of those conversations, because I really like Zach. Like, I really like his content. I really like his personality. I think that he, like I said, he makes a space for people regardless of where you're coming from. Like, there is a space for you in his community, right? It is, he calls us his team, right? And on the live chats and stuff. And, it's the same thing with like how I feel about like Shakara, like, Ilona, right? The Shakara Transformations. Like, it's a safe place to kind of be and talk about stuff, right? She doesn't do a lot of live streams, but like, you can put comments down and, whatever. And, and I couldn't be on his live stream. And then I, like I said, I felt really bad, like, because it's not him, right? But then I was like, oh my God, like, what if he knew that I felt this way? Like, I would want him to feel bad. Like, he doesn't, and I don't, so I just started to really internalize it. So I just had to kind of step away for a while. And then the other night, I happened to catch a live stream, and it was, a reaction to the live where she's talking about the, playing in the snow and whatnot. and I started to think about playing in snow. And I have not thought about that in 12 years. Like, it has maybe crossed my mind twice, and I was like, God, that was a lot of fun, wasn't it? You know, and like one of the people who follow this little channel, like Joyful, she was there, and I was like, I'm going to tell her I'm going to post my blog this weekend. And so she's like, oh, I'm looking forward to reading, seeing your video, or, and then I had to leave. Like, I couldn't stay. Like, I mean, I was on for a little while, but and I did need to take a shower and kind of get ready for bed anyway. But I was just like, I can't be on here. And again, it has nothing to do with him. It's just the content, right? And it made me, again, I felt bad because I was like, this is like, I shouldn't. And I was like, he's gone out of his way as a creator to make this like super comfortable space for everybody. And I am uncomfortable in this, but I remember him saying one time, and even the members in the chat and the mods and stuff were excellent, if you can't watch this stuff, like, please don't watch it, And so I felt a little bit better after that. But I remember, like, even like 5 hours later, like laying in bed, I was like, oh, but it would be so fun, just maybe a little bit, go get a little bit, and just do it, and, I'll just feel like shit for a couple of days, and that's the one thing that I'm really surprised about is that, like, Foodie Beauty is not missing a beat. And if she's using as much as she says she is, and it appears that she is, like, she's got to be doing something else too to kind of balance some of this out, because she's not like, I mean, when I would play in the snow, I'd be high for 2 days. Like, and she's not quite there. I mean, maybe she is, like, but it's just not, but like, I mean, I would have to drink so much beer or so much alcohol to like even me out. Like, I'm just like, she doesn't seem to be getting the, like, is, I don't know. I don't know how she's not getting off live stream every 20 minutes, because like I would have been getting off live stream every 20 minutes to go in the bathroom and play in the snow. Like, I don't get it. Anyway, so I've had a lot of, I don't like the word triggering. I hate that word, but it's just been really anxiety provoking. And, and like I said, like with, this space, that especially with Pulpy, like he's done such a good job of creating, and this is how he makes his money, right? And this is the reaction, and this is the content that he is reacting to. And so it's been hard for me not to be a part of it, but I also recognize that I can't be, because it does make me have some crazy thoughts, and I don't want to have those thoughts. And, and then part of me also feels I'm like jealous of it. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm really jealous that this woman lost 70 pounds in like 2 months doing absolutely nothing, and then I have to remember that it's not real, like she didn't do it the way that, like, the appropriate way. Let's just leave it at that, right? And I have to remember that, like, this isn't real. Like, I'm doing it the right way, like, for me, right? I'm not saying my way is also the right way for you, right? I don't know, I have a pen in my hand, but like, for me, I'm doing it the right way. And like, I have a coach at the CrossFit gym, and she's great. Her name is Jessie, and we have goals. And, and that was like, and then like tonight was a little bit anxiety provoking for me, because, and I don't even have anxiety. And I need to find a different word, because I think that people use the word anxiety. They kind of throw it out kind of loosely, but I don't have anxiety, like from a clinical definition perspective. And so I just like, I didn't like, I wanted to go and enjoy a meal with my friend, but then I was like, oh, you're going to be like 2 pounds heavier tomorrow because all these carbs, and it just could be water weight, blah, and you have goals, but I went anyway, and I just, tried to enjoy myself. And then when I got home, I was like, oh, I really want to put my video together tomorrow. And then I decided I'm going to do it tonight, because I took a shower and it felt really good. And I felt like my head was in the right place to like talk into nothing and just do it, right? And kind of get some of those like thoughts out, because like I live alone, right? Like there isn't anyone else here except for Kitty. And like, I can't be like, Foodie Beauty is stressing me out, and it was scary too, because like I said, I hadn't had a lot of those thoughts in a really long time, and then all of a sudden here they are, and I'm like, oh my God, like, and then I felt bad, like I said, because I wanted to be a part of the conversation, but I can't be. And so until this arc kind of comes back down the other side, like, I guess I'm going to have to just like pop in and kind of be anonymous, and just kind of see what's going on and where the content's going to go, and where, and that goes for all of my channels, right? That I watch. And yeah, so I've been trying to just do some other stuff, like watch some other content creators, find some new things out there. And then kind of catch snippets and replays here and there. And if it's not super heavy, then, it's usually okay. Right. But like the last couple of times that I've, caught a live stream or two, I was like, oh my God, like this is like, my stomach is getting upset thinking about it. Like, so it's just, yeah, like, and again, and then I felt bad because, like I said, it's not like Zach's fault. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's just what's out there right now. And so that's kind of where I've been with that. Not that you care, but I'm telling you anyway. What else is going on? New job, dad, CrossFit's going really well. Working on some goals with my coach. New team coming up. August 2nd is when I start my new job. I'm going to the CrossFit Games at the end of July for a week. Kitty and I are going to go stay in a hotel. It's going to be our little treat. We're going to stay for the whole week and have fun. Kitty is also going to the dentist because his vet is in the same city as CrossFit Games because we lived there for 9 years. And speaking of, hi, honey. He does this to me all day long when I'm on the computer. Hi. Mommy's vlogging. You guys can see Kitty. You can see his little gray nose, right? That's from his radiation. So the other side of his nose still has black fur, but after you have radiation, just like a person, sometimes your hair changes or your fur changes. So he has a white spot like right here on the side of his nose, and then he also has one kind of on the top of his head, and so it looks like the Harry Potter scar. So I'm always like, oh, you have your little Harry Potter scar. The foot on me is to alert me that he is hungry. And so he's like going to sit here and pester me until I get up and go feed him. But anyway, so I heard that Amberlynn and Becky broke up. I think that's sad. I hope it's not a troll. Like, I hope this is for real. Like, I mean, I don't hope it's for real, but I hope that they're not just fucking with people. Because that's not cool at all. And so, but seems to be the case. So I do feel bad for them. Although from just some of the things that I've read, right, I haven't done any of the reactions on that or whatever, but it sounds like that maybe Becky for sure, and I'm sure Amberlynn, they maybe recognize that they have to work on themselves before they can potentially be in a relationship with each other. So I think that's good. And, I hope whatever they end up doing works for them. So, yeah. So I think that's it, guys. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and then I'm finally next weekend going to have my pantry finished. So I'm really kicking myself in the nuts because I did not take a before picture of what this like closet looked like before I took the doors off and took the shelves out. But I will definitely take an after picture and I will insert it into a blog for you so you can kind of see what I've been working on. And then also going to have the carpet in the bedroom cleaned. And then I have decided that I think next year I'm going to have the carpet in the bedroom pulled out because underneath that is the original hardwood floors and they are stunning. And so I would really like to have hardwood throughout the whole condo. It's just the one bedroom that's carpeted. So he's rubbing his nose on my Marc Jacobs bag. I have like a burlap, like Marc Jacobs tote bag that I throw all my crap in, and he likes to rub his face on it because it's scratchy. But Kitty's doing really well. He is going to be 15 in August. So on August 3rd, Kitty will be 15. And he is almost 1 year out from his radiation treatment, and he is living his best life. And every day that I get him is a miracle for a number of reasons. One, he had cancer, and number two, he's 15. And I think that cats in my mind, all cats live to be like 20, because the two cats that I had growing up lived to be 20. And then I found out that no, most cats only live 10 years. And I was like, oh, so we are way beyond our life expectancy at this point. So yeah, we're still having a really good time together. So and I think I may have said this before, but like, going through like the whole like hospice, end of life process with my dad actually has made me feel much more comfortable with, maybe having to do the same for Kitty, right? And I know you're like, it's just a cat, but like I said, I'm alone, right? Like he's my person, my furry person, like, and I don't have children and I'm single and, like all the things, right? So I just feel like, going through that with my dad has actually made it a little bit easier for me to really think about like, okay, I could do comfort care for Kitty if I had to, like I'm strong enough to do that. Like, I could do it by myself. Like I wouldn't have to have my mom come here and be like, take the cat to the vet and have him put down. Like, and then, and then I would do it here at the house and stuff. So, I've already kind of made those kind of pre-planning things, but yeah, but he's doing really good. And, yeah, we're just, like I said, we're living our best life right now. So, really hoping to kind of get over like these random feelings of, I don't know what they are. I just call them intrusive thoughts because they are pretty intrusive, just about, like I said, like, like disordered eating and like drug use. Like, I'm like, yeah, I just, and I laugh about it, not because it's funny, because I just don't know how else to process it. Right. And, and so, and I just have like a wide range of emotions attached to it. And I just have to kind of move through all of that. But hopefully the story arc is coming back around the other side. For a lot of my favorites, and like different content will be out there soon, and it won't be such a big deal, but yeah, so that's all I got for you. This was a little shorter than I thought. It's only 31 minutes. I thought it was gonna be like 2 hours. I told Joyful pack a lunch because it was gonna be long. But yeah, but other than that, things are going really good. It's summer in Wisconsin. You can't tell right now because I'm wearing a sweatshirt because it's only 65 degrees. But tomorrow we had summer really early here. We had the fake summer. I think I might have said this last vlog. Like we're in May. It was hot as balls here for like 3 weeks. And then spring showed up. So we had fake summer for like three weeks. And then our spring showed up. And so we have really kind of been like dancing on the line between spring and summer, really since Memorial Day, the week before Memorial Day. And then tomorrow though, it's going to be, I think like 88 and then in the mid 90s for a couple of days. And then we're going to cool back down to like the 80s, high 70s. So pretty typical June. Sorry, it's July, pretty typical July. I finally broke down and put the air conditioners in. So I have one in my living room and one in the bedroom, just in case it doesn't cool off at night. I don't mind so much during the day. But at night, man, if it does not cool off and it's humid AF, like forget it. Like you can't sleep. So, I did break down and put those in. And then here's kind of the other side of the window story. So all the windows this year are going to get replaced. The goal is to have it done, by like November. So I did get an estimate on the windows and it will take 3 months for them to come in and then a couple days for them to install. So once I order, it's at least 3 months. And so it's already, by the time I'm going to be ready to order, it's probably going to be August, and then so September, October, November, get them in hopefully maybe around Thanksgiving, which would be nice. But then next year, my house obviously built in 25, there's no ductwork here. Right. And I could have someone come and put it in, but they have to like tear holes in the walls. Like forget that. Like I'm not doing that. But I'm going to put a mini splitter in and retrofit for AC. I want to keep the radiators for the heat. But I'm going to put like, I think a splitter. I think I'm going to have to do 3, because my house is very long and skinny. And so I think I'm going to have to put one in the living room, which is where I'm sitting now, one in the back bedroom, which is where I sleep, and then maybe one like in the kitchen. So the air is kind of blowing like this, right? So it's going to come in this way and then out like to the exterior part of the building. And then the one bedroom in the middle, right, which I call the middle bedroom, which is really my office. Again, I'm holding a pen, guys. What is up with this? That room actually stays pretty cool because it doesn't get the sun. It's just in a weird spot. So it faces north, right? And one window faces east. So it's morning sun just for like 2 minutes, right? But then the other windows face north. And so my living room is warm in the morning, right? Because my living room faces east, right? And then the south side of the house, which is where I grow my plants. Oh, I have to tell you about my plants. Hold on. We'll get back to that. And then the back bedroom, right, faces west, so it gets the sun set. So the back is hot in the afternoon and the front is warmer in the morning. But that middle room doesn't really get anything, but I think that I'll probably want to put a splitter in the kitchen, just to kind of keep, I just don't think the living room one is going to be powerful enough, right, to like get the dining room kitchen area cool, even though I don't spend a ton of time in the dining room, more time in the kitchen, but just, just kind of even it out. So I think it's going to be like 3 So it's gonna be some coin, but I want to get the windows done first because otherwise the air is just blowing out the windows, right? Like, because they're not the windows we think are probably from the 40s, if not older, and so they don't seal all the way anymore. So, and I did asked the window guy about the Dutch door that I have in my bedroom, which goes out to what they call a dust porch. All houses in Milwaukee in 1920 have that were built in the 20s have this dust porch. It's like a tiny patio, basically. So the door opens on the top and you can open the bottom. So they're independent of each other. And it's a really cool door. And he actually thinks it's original. And so that would mean it's almost 100 years old. And then he said it cost about $2,000 to replace that. I said, no, thanks. He's like, if you're worried about like air, like seepage, right? He's like, he gave me the name of some like weather stripping I could get, right, and try for the door. So we're going to do that. And then next year will be the splitter. And then let me tell you about my orchid. So in 2018, I got an orchid as a gift after I had surgery. And it has been blooming since 2018. And it's purple, like kind of like fuchsia, maybe more like fuchsia. It's not pink. It's not really it's like, I would say fuchsia, but more purple than pink. And it did stop blooming for a short time after I moved here. So last summer, for a few months, it wasn't blooming. I didn't have any flowers on it. And then one of the stems died. I don't know what you would call it. Probably a stem. So there's two, right? You see orchids, usually there's two. So one of them died. And so I just had the one. And then all of a sudden he started blooming again. He's got all these flowers on him, right? So that started, I think, in the fall is when that started happening. And then the other day I'm looking at him and another stem grew and now there's buds on it. And so like, I'm going to have two sides again. I'm like, I didn't even know this was a thing. Because if you can F up orchids, they're really easy to kill, right? And I think it's that south window. Like they're kind of sitting in front of I'm looking at them right now. I have a fortune tree, which is kind of like a succulent, but not really, definitely deserty, like you really dry it out. And then I have my orchid, and then I have a couple of little succulents that, I don't even know if they're still alive, to be honest with you. Like I got them at IKEA. Like, I don't know. And then I have a terrarium. And then I have this random plant that I bought at the grocery store because it had orange flowers on it and it looked cool. I have no idea what it is. And he didn't have flowers on him for like a year and a half. And all of a sudden he is huge and he's so big. He's like too big for the pot. So I got to figure out what to do with him. And what else? Oh, and then I have a burrows tail cactus, which is actually hanging from my ceiling. So he's up high, hanging from the ceiling. Because he kind of like droops over, right? Yeah, so like he needs to be up a little bit higher. But I think it's that south window. And then the peace lily that I got when my dad passed away from my coworkers has like 4 flowers on it now. And again, south window. So really excited about my flowers right now and my windows. So that's what's going on in my house right now. So anyway, and the Bucks are winning. Well, we're 1 game ahead. Giannis is out. The Brewers are doing really well. So there's a lot of really cool things going on in Milwaukee. I don't know if you can hear that. There's fireworks. There's literally fireworks every day starting Memorial Day all the way through Labor Day. We're always shooting fireworks off here. So, and someone's car alarm is also going off. But anyway, that's all I have. I'm going to finish my Fit Aid because I can stand up and reach it soon and maybe get a snack and then head to bed because I'm going back to CrossFit like 9:30 tomorrow morning. So anyway, it was good to talk to you guys. I hope you're all doing well. If you are experiencing anything that I've experienced with, especially if you're following a lot of the reactions to Foodie Beauty, you're stressing you out, like, it's okay. Like, it's okay not to be there and not to be on live chats. And, it sucks, right? Because you kind of feel like, you want to participate, but sometimes it's okay not to. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. So, but again, I'm waiting for the arc to come around. Something a little bit different. So anyway. All right. Well, have a fantastic weekend, you guys. Enjoy your celebrations, whatever they are. Be careful. Please don't blow your hands off with any fireworks. Be careful if you're drinking. If you're on your boat, please wear your life jackets, wear your sunscreen, take your vitamins, take your medication, drink your water, all those things. So it was good to talk to you guys. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.